Good morning. Welcome to Expat Insights. I'm your host, Raju Mandhian. Here at Expat Insights, we take external views of internal successes by foreigners, expats, and immigrants who have made Philippines their home. This Friday morning, the 28th of May, we have two very young guests, and they are not really expats, but they are second-generation Indians, and they are doing good in the Philippines through culture and through literature. My guest, a young lady, Geeta Keswani. She's an author of a book called Drop and Drop It, co-author, and her companion, Ravi Mirpuri, who's acting in a play based on these two books. So, and they're going to talk about true freedom and exponential power. That's what we're going to do. So, Ravi and Kavita. Geeta.
Yeah.
Kavita is her mom. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Ravi and Geeta, welcome to Expat Insights.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raju.
You like that I may mess up the start?
A little bit.
Okay, good. So welcome to Expat Insights.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
So,
How are you today?
Okay, you know what? Start telling me a bit about yourself. Just
Okay.
a minute, maybe. Like you, Ravi.
Sure.
Where do you come from? What do you do?
okay, so my name's Ravi Mirpuri, 23 years old.
Yeah.
I was born and raised here in the Philippines.
Right.
Third generation Indian now.
Third generation,
Third
like the
generation.
Bhagat Singhs. Fourth
Exactly.
generation, yeah.
And then, so I've been born and brought up here, been here all my life, took university here.
Green Archer or?
Green Archer.
Ah,
Green
I could
Archer.
guess. Okay,
yeah.
there you go, yeah.
So I took finance and economics in LaSalle,
Yeah.
graduated in 2011, and then I went to India for a bit to do a leadership training course.
Whoa, wow, that's heavy duty. Okay.
And then as a practicum for that course, I actually co-authored a book, which is not this one, but
not
this one.
Not this one. Okay.
but
yeah.
something else.
Oh, you are in the process of it.
No, it's actually been released,
Okay.
but this isn't the book. It's a different project. And so after that, I came back, worked for a multinational for a while as a finance analyst.
Okay.
And very recently, I actually left my job to become a full-time volunteer for the Chinmaya Mission.
Wow, fantastic. And this is the thing that you're going to talk about today, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely.
My name is Geeta Keswani. as
Yeah,
you
that's not
introduced
Kavita. I'm
me.
sorry because that's your mom.
And I'm a second-generation Indian.
Right.
And I also studied at De La Salle University.
All right.
Green Archer, all the way.
Yeah.
And I also took the Youth Empowerment Program. It's the leadership training seminar in India.
Mhm.
That was 3 years ago.
So this is what comes out of that training, no?
Yes.
Yes.
So where do you want to start telling me about true freedom? Or do you want to tell me about the book first? Your choice.
We could
Why
lead
don't
into it?
we tell you a little bit about kind of our background, what led us to joining this organization, to writing about stuff like this?
Okay. Tell us about stuff like this. What's the content?
Okay, so Drop It.
Yeah.
We have two books in front of us right here. One
Yeah.
is actually a novel,
Yeah.
and one is an activity book.
Yeah.
And this was written by Geeta as part
This
of
is the
her-
novel?
The green one is the novel.
Okay, yeah.
Green one is the novel. And
Yeah.
actually, Geeta can tell you more about it because she actually worked on it for a year. It was a very long but very successful project for her.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we worked on this for a year. Started in India at around 8 p.m. in the evening,
Yeah.
where we all sat together and wove a story together. And actually, Drop started as a series of talks in India where we listened and we were so inspired.
Like seminars and
Yes,
workshops.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so this has happened so many places. It happened in the Philippines 2 years back. We had a Drop seminar as well. And in India, when we listened to it, me and my peers, we were so inspired. We came up with 250 questions.
Wow.
We researched, asked,
Wow.
and all these questions led us to come up with so much content that we thought would be boring to just be a question and answer book. And so we wove a story about these
Wow.
travelers.
So you created fiction around a certain reality.
Exactly.
Yes.
So what is the core message in these books or in those 250 questions when you say drop or drop it or drop it, it's easy, no? Or
Yeah.
drop it easy. What are you saying?
We're saying that we can just let go and we can be free. One of the most important messages we at least learned was most of the time we think that these negative qualities we have are external. that it's sentient, that it's coming to us, it's grabbing us. But
Yeah.
actually,
Which negative qualities are we talking about?
well, in the play, which we'll get to later,
Right,
I
right,
guess,
yeah.
we have 5 main qualities, which is, it starts with pride, fear, anger, peer pressure, and attachment. And in this book, we discussed at least 30 more, but
Negative qualities? Wow, you
Yeah.
made a big list with that.
yes,
Yeah.
250 questions.
We have a lot of negative qualities.
But
That's pretty sad, isn't it?
yeah. Can I tell you a story?
Sure, go ahead, maybe, yeah.
There's a girl, she's driving in the highway one day.
There's a girl and she's driving on a highway one day.
Yes. And she's got her stereos blasting, she's enjoying herself, maybe she's in a convertible, red, and suddenly the car stalls. And it stops on the highway. So she gets out frustrated, she kicks the car, and she kneels down beside the car to pray and says,
First she kicks the car, then she prays to the car. I love that scene. I love that scene. No? It's like straight out of Steven Spielberg, yeah?
she kneels down to pray, and
Yeah.
she says, God, please help me. And
Yeah.
a voice thunders out from the sky saying, don't just kneel there, fill it with petrol.
Do something about it.
Exactly.
Change the tire, yeah.
So that's one of the key points here, I guess. It's, we have these negative qualities, but we can do something about it. We can drop it and let it go ourselves.
So what you're saying, drop it, when you say drop it, or drop it, it's easy. You're saying drop negative qualities. One of them being not taking action. Is that what you just said?
So you could think about them as negative qualities, but you could also think about them as baggage, which a lot of people do nowadays. So if you'll humor me, I have a couple of very seemingly silly questions.
You'll ask me?
Yes. But
Okay, go ahead.
they will illustrate the point totally and completely.
Okay, I'm ready.
So have you ever tried driving your car with the handbrake engaged?
I've never tried that willfully.
Yes.
I didn't desire to do that, but a couple of times I accidentally remember driving with the handbrake on.
Okay, and so that's the first. The second would be if you were actually driving at, say, 80 to 100 kilometers per hour, and you engaged your handbrake. What do you think would happen with it?
Whoa, thank God I've never done that because I'm still alive. But yes, I do remember driving at 88 miles per hour, and I was caught by a cop.
Okay, so I'd liken the handbrake to baggage.
Okay.
So
Baggage as in like suitcases? And
no, absolutely not. You could think about it as emotional baggage. So there's stuff we carry around from past experiences, and you could think about the handbrake that way. So in the first case, if our lives stagnate to a certain extent, they become routine, boring, because of the handbrake or the baggage, even if we try to step on the gas as hard as we can, we never get anywhere.
So what's an example of baggage that you're talking about? You're not talking about clothes and shoes and a piano in my suitcase, right? What baggage? Name one.
Well, it could be
Cite
stage
one.
fright, for example. So if
Stage fright,
yes,
okay.
if for example I did a play or I did a performance, or I had to speak in public, and I failed miserably, then for what could be my entire life, I could harbor that kind of fear.
Oh, so the memory of the failure,
Correct,
the thing
correct.
that the emotion that I attached to the failure, that would be my baggage. Okay, that
Yes.
would be one. Okay.
Okay, and then the second example would be like, okay, even if I'm driving at 88 miles per hour.
Yeah, I know
and
that's what I got. I had to pay $108 in Miami back in 1988, and I really hate it. Yeah. Anyway, that's an old story.
Sure. So if, for example, we're driving 88 miles an hour, and life is going well, there's no traffic, you're driving, you're relaxed, and then suddenly the handbrake engages. So there's a baggage that pops up, or there's a situation that causes you to accumulate more baggage.
Okay. Well, I've never experienced
Yeah.
that one, that suddenly my handbrake goes up. Thank God it's never happened. But maybe it happens to people. Maybe they have a scenario in life, sickness, relationship problems, business problems, where that could be a handbrake.
Exactly.
So is that a real example? Is
Yes,
that-
yes,
that-
absolutely. And those are the two times wherein actually harboring negative qualities or baggage can really
okay.
influence our lives. And, without them, we would be a lot healthier and happier.
Right. So I understand. Now you're talking about stuff that we attach ourselves to. That means it could be an accident or things that happen.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's something that happened before, and then we keep carrying it on into our present and future.
Exactly.
That's baggage.
Yes.
Okay. So what are you recommending? What are the baggages described in this, and what are you recommending? Drop it is one, I know.
Drop
but
it
how?
Well, one of the things I learned in India and everywhere else, I think there are 3 steps to
In life.
introspection. In life, let's
And
say
you're
that.
so young. Huh? Yeah.
Which is why sometimes I feel I might not be qualified to speak about this, but 3 steps to introspection, which I try to practice every day, is first is listening.
Okay.
So listening to the world, listening to our teachers,
I like that.
and listening to, I guess, our friends, whoever we meet.
Or maybe listening,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, listening.
Yeah.
And the second step will be thinking about it, constantly
Okay.
digesting what we've learned.
I
And
like that
then-
too. Yeah.
And then the third one is actually applying it to our lives.
That's
Right?
what you meant. Change the tire or
Yeah.
fill gas in the
Correct.
car.
Yeah.
So those are your 3 philosophies to drop things or towards true freedom. Number 1
Yes.
is to listen.
Yeah.
Listen as in undiluted listening.
Yeah.
Period. And listen to everything. 2, process it. 3, get up and do something.
Exactly.
Well, so I'm home. That's
Yes.
it. That's it.
Yes.
So what's happening in the play?
Okay, so actually the play is an original script. It was written by our mission in Hong Kong, and we're adapting it here in the Philippines. So it's the second time ever the play is being performed. And it's about this financial journalist, a Bloomberg type of personality.
Right. Okay.
Yes. And what actually happens is at the very beginning, he makes a small mistake. He gives a stock tip on air.
He gets his handbrake pulled accidentally.
Exactly.
There you go. I'm pretty smart that way.
Extremely,
Yeah.
extremely. Okay, so what happens is, so he gets derailed. He pulls up his handbrake, gets derailed, and then, so the rest of the play is essentially him dropping the baggage that he needs to let go of in order to recover.
Great. So this is the training you got from India. Now, from where I sit, this special chair allows me to look at you as if you were very young. So I hope you forgive me for that. No,
No, not at all.
In your personal lives, Ravi and Geeta, forgive me, not Kavita, but Geeta, no? Do you have you ever pulled on the handbrake by yourself, or did the handbrake pull itself up accidentally ever, in your case, Ravi?
Well, I wouldn't say it did. I mean, now and then I've had small setbacks, made a lot of mistakes, but nothing major, nothing that I feel would have derailed my life.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And that's only happened because I've been brought up with these qualities, with this kind of positive thinking and value-oriented.
Yeah. So if you've never experienced it, Ravi, how can you relate to it so well? What about you makes it relate to it so well?
Well, I wouldn't say I haven't experienced it per se.
I know,
I mean,
yeah,
it hasn't, well, knock on wood.
Knock on glass.
Knock on glass.
Yeah.
Well, nothing major has happened so far.
Yeah.
But I empathize very, very well. I understand. And I've been through situations, certainly, where it's helped me
I
a
think
lot.
what you're saying probably is that your learning was deeper, even though the incidents were not that critical.
I feel that way, yeah.
Good. That's an insightful person. That's an insightful human being. How about you, Geeta?
What I could tell you is I deal regularly with fear. Yes,
Okay.
like this morning, it was very hard for me to sleep last night because I was nervous about coming here and speaking with you.
Wow.
And
I am nervous about speaking to you guys, and look at you, nice and bright faces. Yeah.
But so that's actually one of my biggest things in life because I don't know if everybody realizes how big fear actually is. Like, I'm afraid that you won't like me, so I behave differently. I'm afraid that I won't get into this college, so I don't apply for it.
Wow. I need a little more expansion of it. This sounds interesting. This will take a little more deeper thinking on my part. Tell me
Yeah.
that. So if you're afraid of something, then you react to it. How? Tell me again.
Yeah, for example, let's just say a party situation.
Parting situation, as in separate with someone.
Or in a party.
Partying. I said,
Party
oh, there you go. See, it tells you the difference between our ages. I'm talking about partying, and she's talking about partying. Okay, partying. Okay.
But even something as simple
Let's say a
as-
night out or a night
Yeah.
out on the TV. Yeah. Fine.
Exactly. Something as simple as that. How differently do I react because I'm watching you, how you react to me, just because I want you to like me. I'm afraid that you won't like me. So do I change my behavior?
Okay.
That's one thing. Or I know I didn't apply to a college. Because I didn't think I'd get in because I was afraid that I'd be rejected.
You were.
No,
This is true. I mean,
it is.
this is not hypothetical,
Yeah,
no?
it's absolutely
You were
real.
afraid of getting into college and
Of not getting into that
not
college.
getting into college, huh?
So I didn't apply for it.
Oh my God! Oh wow!
You
wow.
know?
Right.
So that's I guess one of the reasons why that's what I deal with regularly, which is fear. Which is why I try to boost my confidence in so
Right.
many different ways, which is trying to remember that it's not that big. It's just something as simple as relationships and talking to another person to understand really that it's not to understand that if you don't like me, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I need to like myself. Right?
I think those are two things, no?
No?
Those two things. I think two things, no? The first portion which you mentioned, it's called in my school of thinking, it's called the map is not the reality, no?
Yeah.
That means what you think might be out there in a human being or an institution, that's not out there. And that's why you react thinking that there's a monster or a demon inside, no?
Absolutely.
But the second one you said is something else.
Which is
but-
like myself first.
Yeah. What is that?
The
Yeah.
second part was when
You have to like yourself more.
Yeah.
What is that? Yeah.
this is understanding that I have strengths
Uh-huh.
and I need to focus on that
Ah,
rather
okay.
than focusing on another person's impulses or reactions, you know?
Uh.
So that's what I honestly have been working on a
Okay,
lot.
I get it. So you're saying get yourself right first, get your own agenda right first, no? So
Yeah.
unworry about the agenda and the opinions of the world outside of you,
Yeah.
but first get a handle on your own agenda and your own opinion of yourself. So between the two, you're saying the one that internal is bigger.
Yeah, and honestly what I realized
Yeah.
after focusing on my strengths was people liked me more because of that. Because, you know, when I'm not so concerned, I made more friends. It's not even about I guess I opened up a bit. I got out of my comfort zone. I explored the world more. And I realized that.
So does the book or does the play provide you a framework to do that? Number one, to manage your opinion of things outside. And then number two is to manage your own internal expectations of yourself. Does the book or the play? Which one
Yes,
does?
absolutely. The book does, but
Yeah.
as Geeta mentioned previously, the book talks about a lot of different things, whereas for the play, we've actually condensed it, and we're talking about the stuff that matters.
No
the
more
most.
13 negative
No,
baggages,
absolutely
okay.
not.
So which are these?
So we're focusing on 5.
Okay.
So that's pride.
Pride. And
fear.
she didn't talk about pride
Not
yet.
not
Okay.
yet.
Yeah.
So what Geeta mentioned was actually about Act 2, which is fear,
And Act 3.
and Act 3, which is peer pressure. And then we have anger and
Yeah.
attachment.
So would you like to tell me one at a time? Tell me about pride first. I want to hear that.
Okay, pride. So the way I understand pride the most, and the way I think about it, is I relate it to the word I. So if I am doing something, it's my capability, I'm performing the action, I'm getting the result, and it's completely selfish in nature, then that's something that relates to pride.
Okay. All right.
Whereas I know there's always this big misconception about what's pride and what's a healthy self-confidence.
You took the question out of my mouth, so go ahead and answer it. Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, pride
A
is
healthy opinion of yourself and pride. Okay.
yes. So if I say pride, it means I'm talking about myself. It's just I. It's extremely selfish in nature, both in terms of the intention and the act itself, which I perform. Whereas a healthy self-confidence, well, you recognize what your skills are, what your strengths are, but you also are extremely grateful for what you have. So you recognize that, okay, even though I'm a good speaker, for example, or I'm confident, or I put in a lot of work, I studied hard,
Yeah.
other people helped, right? There are always people helping along the way, people providing you opportunities, and that's the difference between the two.
That's one. Okay,
Yes.
so the way to going from negative or egoistical pride to healthy pride, what are the steps?
Well, I would say recognize what we need to be grateful for. So
okay.
if there's this concept that I'm doing everything and I'm responsible for it,
Yeah.
then it's pride. But if there's this concept that, okay, you know, I know what I'm capable of, I'll play my strengths,
Yeah.
I will work on my weaknesses, but I'm grateful, then
Okay, that's one. How about the second one? Or the fear.
Fear.
And did you say what? You said anger.
we
Let's
said
take
anger.
anger because I think Geeta covered fear well.
She
no?
did, she did.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. So let's go anger. What about anger?
Anger. Okay, so a lot of people have this way of thinking that anger might be completely wrong. It's an emotion that we should never feel.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because, okay, if I'm peaceful, if I'm tranquil, if I, then I should never feel anger.
Right.
But I certainly believe that that's not the case.
Why so?
Well, I think it's a natural response to certain situations. I mean, anger naturally arises in us.
It does?
It does. So the
It
concept,
does in me, but I'm not sure if it arrives in the rest.
I'm sure.
Arises in the rest of the world.
I think to be human is to feel angry.
I didn't have a
sometimes.
black Maserati or a Porsche or which car did you say? I haven't kicked a car ever in my life. Yeah. But I like it. I don't know the rest of the world, yeah.
So, okay, so anger. So I would think that everyone would have it in different degrees. And the whole concept is drop. So we're not saying don't have it in the first place.
All
We're
right,
saying
all right.
drop it.
Oh, recognize it and let it go.
Yes,
Let it
exactly.
go. And how do I let it go?
Okay, so when we're angry, there's always two ways to handle the situation. There's react and there's respond.
Okay, what's the
Okay.
difference?
Okay, so if I react, it means that on the spot, right there and then, I make a decision. And
Yeah.
out of that anger, I could possibly say or do something that I might come to regret.
Also think about it, as you mentioned in the beginning, right?
Yes.
Listening, thinking, so give it a lot more thought
Yes.
before you take action on it.
Yes.
Before you take negative or at least knee-jerk action on it. No? All right, so 2, 3. Is there anything else? The other thing?
The
What
last
is-
one's attachment.
Attachment.
Yeah.
Did you say envy? Did you mention envy? No.
Well, pride, we talked about it
Oh,
already.
yeah.
And then Geeta spoke a little bit about fear
Right.
and peer pressure, and then anger and attachment.
Yeah.
Go, Geeta, tell me about attachment.
Attachment.
Okay.
Well, attachment is when we put ourselves inside a project or inside something else, which
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily have to be there. So, for example, this book,
Yeah.
although I helped write it,
Yes.
I should not say that only I should allow people, I should choose the publisher it goes to.
Providence
I should do
held
this.
your hand.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. And so I hope that I'm not attached to this book. I hope that I allow this book to do whatever it wants to help other people in the world. Now that I've written it, I need to step back and allow it to be. You know? I don't know.
Have you managed that? Have you correctly? You haven't managed it. You haven't let go of the fact that you have written this book yet.
I mean,
Really?
it's not just me. It was, of course, a group of people.
I know, but your
yeah.
attachment is here. You're saying you're still.
Yeah, like till
you
today.
still have a claim on this.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm doing whatever I can to promote it. I'm doing everything I can to. But at the same time, if it seems that if ever I don't do anything else other than this book, then it's attachment.
So this is a great junction in my conversation with you. You're saying that you are proposing this attachment or detachment, as my friend, next guest will tell us, no? And yet you're saying you're attached to it. And you have a formula for detaching yourself.
Yes.
What is the formula?
The formula for detaching.
Well, I would say it's to recognize that me and the idea are two separate things.
Okay.
So I perform a lot of actions. I think a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
I have a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
But I and those things are completely and totally separate. So if I identify too much with those things, then that would be me being attached.
There you have it. So Geeta, what are we going to do about this?
So what I am going to do is, what I have done, which is work on other projects as well, which is not just this. But at the same time, it is on the back burner. We're trying to get the ISBN code for it. We're making sure that all the requirements are there. So,
Yeah, I agree. You know, I must tell you this, that I have humbly authored 3 books. I
Yeah.
keep thinking my books, you know, but in reality, they are just knowledge and wisdom and conversations that have been captured from multiple sources, and I just maybe put them between 2 covers. Yeah, so that's the point. I think I get it, no? And yet I still think I'm the author of Pit Bulls and Entrepreneurs. No?
Yeah.
So maybe there'll come a time when I'll surrender that, and that'll be good. Great. So I'm happy to have heard these wonderful insights from you.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yes. Have I missed asking you anything about this wonderful philosophy of drop it?
Drop it. Okay, yes.
One second.
Yeah.
Something just occurred to me about
Yes.
attachment.
Yeah.
I heard this somewhere, which is to get detached or not attached to something, you have to attach to something else.
You got to keep moving on.
Right?
Maybe you need to attach yourself to something much more constructive and bigger than you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Something for an external good.
Yeah.
No? There, I'm being a philosopher here.
There you go.
So thank you for being on Expat Insights.
Thank
I'd
you.
like you to talk about the venue
Yes.
and the date of this play. And then you can go ahead and talk to that TV there, that TV camera there, and invite people to come and sign up or
Sure.
register or buy
So
a ticket.
can I show this?
Yes,
again
sir.
quickly?
Please go ahead. Make my day.
Okay, so we have this play. The Chinmaya Mission is actually doing this play called Drop It.
Drop it.
Yes, it's on June 16, which is
Mhm.
a Sunday, from 5 to 7 p.m.
Mhm.
And we're actually doing it at St. Cecilia's Hall in St. Scholastica's College.
Wow, right next to
Yeah.
the Green Arches.
Yes,
Huh? So it's a
right
walk
next
away.
to the Green
yeah.
Arches. So yeah, we're inviting everyone. This play is in English. It's a multimedia dance drama production. So we have computer animation, we have dances, we have live stage acting.
And who's choreographing the dances and
Oh,
the
we
music?
have a lot of people from our community who are working on it.
They're not from La Salle?
Not from the south.
Okay.
From the south.
Okay.
We have a lot of people, and
Yeah.
this is going to be an incredible night.
Yeah.
We really would like anyone and everyone to come if you're interested in these kind of things. So we actually have contact numbers here for tickets.
Oh, well, maybe we'll put that on the scroller later.
Yeah,
later,
absolutely.
Yeah, on the yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
You want to read the number, it's fine. You can give your website, that's fine. They are on Facebook, by the way. I know
Yes,
that.
we're
yeah?
on Facebook. Yeah,
Ah.
so we have a Facebook group called Chinmaya Mission Philippines.
Yeah,
That's CHINMAYA.
yeah.
Mission Philippines. And then for tickets, you can actually contact these 2 numbers. It's 0917-851-0070 or 0919-996-4802.
Okay, well, people have to rewind that to watch that again and again because it was not typed down. Geeta, you have any bid adieu words saying bye? Is there something you want to say?
Please watch Drop It.
Yeah.
It's on June 16 from
Yeah.
5 to 7 p.m. And
Yeah.
our people have worked very hard. And
Oh, yeah.
we've actually come together. That's one thing I found so
Or the
joyful.
second generation and third generation.
Yeah.
What I-
Indian, okay.
Yeah, I found it so joyful that, people come out from left and right just to help. It's so
Yeah.
wonderful,
That's a good thing about good things. I've realized
Yeah.
in this. When you build something, they come. No? So you build something, it's come. So salamat po,
Thank you.
nabuhay, and
Thank you
may
very
God
much.
bless you on your journey into whatever good you're doing, whatever value you're adding to the community and to the mainstream Filipino community. And so it's in English, right? I forgot to
Yes,
ask you
yes.
that. No? Tagalog translations, wala pa, no? Wala pa. Next time.
Next time.
But of course, I don't have to ask you if you speak Tagalog because you were born and raised here.
Yes.
So salamat, mabuhay,
Thank you.
and God
Salamat,
bless.
Raju.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much for being on Expat Insights. Geeta, salamat.
Salamat.
Yeah. So that was Geeta Keswani and Ravi Mirpuri from Drop It, and you can watch them on June 16 at Sense Call, and you can look them up on Facebook. So stay watching Expat Insights, and after this break, we have another guest who's going to talk about the same subject matter, and he's the author of Developing Exponential Power, Mr. Bjorn Martin of Life Coach Par Excellence. So stay watching.